Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday. Not going to have a show today. Just wanted to do a quick summary of kind of what happened this week. It was another really good week, actually. We've had a number of weeks in a row now where the market has ended up. We just finished our fourth month in a row with the end of February with an up market every month. So it's a good time, actually. It's a very strong market also. Every time we have some dips, there's buying coming in. So there's a lot of money still on the sidelines looking for some weakness to come in. The beginning of this week, the market was pretty much flat, down a little, really the first 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, really waiting for the report that happened before the market opened on Thursday from the PCE index, which this is the favored inflation index for the Federal Reserve. This is the core portion that they're trying to get down to 2%. And so the market was kind of, I think, nervous this week just because we had a little bit higher, CPI number, a little bit higher PPI, which is wholesale inflation number than expected. And so when it was reported on Thursday, the expectations were met. Actually, we had a 0.4% increase in PCE for the month of January. That's kind of high. If you annualize that out times 12, you got 4.8%. We don't want to be there. The year over year was at 2.85%, which was lower than the month before. So the year over year PCE core continues to come down. That's the number they're trying to get down to 2%. So it's still getting there. The monthly number is kind of volatile. Matter of fact, the last time it was up 0.4 was January. So perhaps there's something about January, of last year versus this one, as far as that goes. But overall, inflation is still annualizing out a little bit over 2% now, if you take the last 6 months, even including that jump. But the market did go up 0.5% on Thursday after this report, even though the numbers were, just met. But I think the fear was that maybe they would be, inflation would be even higher. And so that's the story. You could call this inflation week. Last week would have been artificial intelligence week with the report from NVIDIA. I do think that the artificial intelligence will continue to be the dominant cycle thing here. The economy is good. Inflation is slowly but surely coming down. I don't see rate cuts happening as soon as the market is seeing in June. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't get pushed back, because originally I saw it in March and then in May, and now it's back to June. And because most of the Federal Reserve governors seem to be talking about kind of late summer or what have you. Now, they don't actually meet in the late summer, so I don't know how that's going to happen, but they meet in July. August is the big Jackson Hole conference that they do. And then they'd be meeting in September again. So, again, there was another analyst today who came out and said he wouldn't be surprised to see if rates didn't change this year, just because the economy has been pretty solid. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. I've mentioned that before. So, I don't think that's going to be the big issue for the market here at this point in time, assuming that inflation continues to slowly come down. If we start to see a big pick back up like they had in the 70s, then all bets are off in that regard, but that hasn't happened yet. So at the moment, we're dealing with this artificial intelligence, coming through, and talk about a bubble. This is not a bubble. It could become a bubble at some point in time. When you have a company like NVIDIA going from 6 billion to $22 billion in one quarter, over a year, fourth quarter of last year versus the fourth quarter of the year before that, those are real numbers. 486% growth in earnings. This is something that's actually happening, and there's money being spent on it. It's not a mirage. The dot-com bubble was the same way. In the end, all the things that we're dealing with, including this show coming through on YouTube, came from, the advent of the products and what have you that were developed during that period of time. So hard to see where artificial intelligence is going to go, but they're the people that are interested in this and are very excited about it, and we're seeing some of these stocks do quite well because of that. So today technology did very well altogether. The Nasdaq was up 1.1%. We hit a new all-time high on the S&P 500, again 15th one of the year. The Nasdaq hit a first-time all-time high since 2021 yesterday, and hit another one today. So finally joining the party, the Dow hit an all-time high first, and then the S&P, and now the Nasdaq. So, we're starting to see some breadth come through in the market, which we really like to see. Still very powerful in the big tech names, no doubt, but we're seeing some motion in some of the other areas as we start to see new all-time highs on more and more stocks inside the S&P 500. Um, Not seeing a lot of run on a sustained basis out of the small cap stocks. That usually does happen later on in a cycle when you have an upward cycle like this, when people start to really look for things, that have potentially higher rates of return. Right now, we're still seeing kind of S&P 500 type stocks do well, which is basically large and mid cap. Some mid cap and some mega cap, really, if you want to call it something. So, altogether, I think it's a great week. Things are continuing. Momentum is very strong to the upside. That has not changed here since October 27th. Had a couple little blips. Every time we get one, we end up with another run up. This is, to me, again, like 1995. There's just a lot of interest coming in here, which is good. Now, Bitcoin's running very hard too, doing very well. It'd be interesting to see if that has some effect on the stock market, just in the sense that, there's only so much money in the world that can go places. And if it's being sucked up into cryptocurrency, you might see some, fall off in the stock market. Haven't seen that yet. Again, another good week, but it'll be something to watch for as far as that goes. So anyway, that's what's happening today and this week. Look forward to being able to, talk to you again. I'll do my normal video starting on Monday. We will have a show next Friday, so you want to join us for that. That would be great. And I'll do my summary then also for the week for next week. So look forward to talking to you then. Thank you very much.